Welcome to the Inside Out Podcast, where we unearth and unleash the soul of the brand. Today, meet Casey Hurbis. Casey has made big swings at the Super Bowl with brands like Stellantis, Rocket, BetMGM, and he's a very dear friend and former client of mine. So, Casey, welcome to the show.
Well, Barbs, thanks so much for having me. Love the space here in Metro Detroit, and excited to join you for your podcast. What number is this for you?
What number is this for me? This is number 12.
All right. Lucky 12.
Lucky
Let's do
12.
it.
So, Casey, before we start, I always ask everyone to give me a fun fact about them.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
This one's, when I say it, people don't believe it. I was just telling you a story off camera that you could now correlate to it. I have been hit by a car 4 times.
4 times?
4 times. First time was riding a bike.
Did you do it on purpose?
No, one of them kind of was. First time I was riding a bike. Second one, I was mowing a lawn and they drove up and took me out.
Oh.
Third one, I was crossing the street right about a mile from here. And the fourth one, I was riding my Honda Spree up on campus at Michigan State and got T-boned. I count that one as getting hit by a car. So I've not been hit by a car though since 1993.
Oh, well, that's
Knock
good.
on wood.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, fun fact.
You're kind of like a cat with 9
Yeah,
lives.
exactly. Trust me, I've got about 2 left. I got other accidents I could throw into that mix.
And I know you have a sneaker collection.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about your sneaker collection?
Yeah. So I worked at Rocket Mortgage, and as part of the Rocket company, StockX is part of the family. And when I started at Rocket, I met the CEO, Josh Luber from StockX, and I was like, I had 1 pair of shoes and they were very typical, like New Balance, comfortable shoes. And he's like, dude, you got to step up your game. And I'm like, whatever. And he gave me a pair of Yeezys. And I never forgot, like, I started wearing the Yeezys. I'm wearing a pair today. And I started wearing the Yeezys to work. And all of a sudden, like, the younger team members were like commenting on my shoes. I'm like,
like Casey's a cool dude.
Yeah, like Casey's a cool dude, right? And now I probably have 200 pairs.
200?
I hide them from my wife. Yeah.
Oh,
I've got a little bit of a problem.
That. Yeah.
But it's
when
fun.
they come in, does she say, like, is that a new pair? And you say...
She doesn't know that they come in because I hide them.
Oh, so okay. We'll keep that a secret.
She doesn't want She never watches me on any podcast.
It's like Bill will say to me, why do you need more shoes? Are those new? I'm like, no, they're not new.
They're new.
I bought those last week.
Yeah, you never noticed. Thanks for noticing, Bill. Right. They're a year old. Right.
Exactly. All right. So let's talk about when we first met, which was down at Rocket.
Yep.
It was when Quicken was going through the transition to Rocket and right before the IPO. And, it was push button, get mortgage. And then you were kind of taking everything to a whole new level. I entered the scene when I had left UWM and you all really started wanting to turn up the volume on the B2B channel. And let's talk about that day, because I remember being called down to your office with Jay and Bob Walters, and it was like, let's go.
Let's go. A little bit of history. So Quicken Loans, Rocket Mortgage. So Dan Gilbert, started what was Rock Financial back in 1985, and he sold the company in 99, bought it back in 2002, and it was rebranded Quicken Loans. And when I joined the organization in 2017, Rocket Mortgage had launched as for an online origination mortgage product, and it was Quicken Loans by Rocket Mortgage. And along the way, Rocket and Quicken Loans and Rocket had upwards of 10 fintech brands. And when I got there, some of them were Quicken Rocket by Quicken, and then there was others like Quicken Loans Mortgage Services, the broker business. There was in-house realty. There was it was a house of brands. Right. And we were making the strategic decision of a go-forward plan of building a branded house.
Right.
So we wanted to build everything under the Rocket umbrella.
Right.
So we transitioned from Quicken Loans to Rocket Mortgage. And then as we thought about the other areas of the business, you have the retail side of the business, Rocket Mortgage, and then we had the broker side of the business. There's upwards of 20,000 brokers in this country, in which a client could get a mortgage through a broker versus a retail, a bank, a non-bank, a credit union. and we wanted to work on the rebrand of the broker business. And
Right.
that's where I had the pleasure of meeting Barb. I'd known you obviously from the Detroit marketing circles, and Bill, and Ludwig Plus was, an agency up and coming at the time. I mean, how old was
I
Ludwig?
think you were
This is
one of our
2018, 19. So this was,
so we will be 7 in August.
yeah, so right there.
You hired us about, I don't know, 100 days in.
Yeah. And
it was a big deal.
it was a big deal because the broker at the time, when I joined Quicken and Rocket, it was like, all right, focus on the retail business. And I never forget, this is before I met you. I was maybe my first week in the office, and I get a call from Jay Farner. He's like, come down here. We need to get on the phone with QLMS. I'm like, all right, great. What's QLMS? I don't even know.
What is
I just
that?
got here. I just figured out where to park, how to get in. He's like, all right, it's the broker business. And I'm like, all right, I cover quarterly to my automotive lot. All right. It's like the used dealer lot, right? Where, a broker doesn't have to just use UWM or Rocket, Fair, or whatever. The list
All
goes
the
on and on. There's upwards of 60, 70 broker brands it could use, or mortgage brands. And it was like, we want to be able to, build our brand for it and increase market share. And I was like, all right, let's roll. And that was something where, I had my automotive experience, and obviously with your experience with, you talked about UWM and the work you had done across other financial institutions. All right, how can we take QLMS, rebrand it to what became Rocket Pro, and grow the business? And, it was at a really exciting time because we're taking the mothership from Quicken, and everything is now Rocket. And then we started to have all these brands: Rocket Mortgage, Rocket Pro, Rocket Homes, Rocket Loans, and then the list of Rocket Money, Auto. I mean, the list went on and on. And, it was really, it was a stressful time, but it was exciting.
It was very exciting.
Yeah,
It was
fun to work
long
on.
days, but good long days.
Long weeks, months,
Long
and years.
weeks and months, but it
Yeah.
was fun. What I thought was amazing about it, and a couple things. One was the partnership with you, because we kind of came in like an extension of
Yep.
Rocket, which was, I thought, a really refreshing way to work with a client. But it was so much more than just re-architect the brand architecture, because I think what you all did and what we did together was say, hey, the way the industry works, where it's retail over here and wholesale over there and partnerships over here and different divisions over there, you all looked at the customer and said, no, the customer wants to interact with the brand however they want to interact. And sometimes they're going to want to push button and get
Let them
mortgage,
choose. Yeah.
right? Sometimes they're going to want to go to Charles Schwab and work with their advisor there and get a Rocket loan. And sometimes they're going to want to go to the guy down the street or the woman down the street who's a broker, who's going to give them wholesale pricing. And I think that really kind of reshaped the industry in a really big way.
Yeah, and it'd be very easy within a large organization to have almost fiefdoms, and you almost have inner fighting. And at the end of the day, to your point, I mean, one of the most amazing things about working at Rocket Mortgage was the foundational values that are in place. Dan started those back in 1985, and he calls them the isms. There's now 15, 17. I know they've recently refined them. And the isms are very simple. It's like yes before no, we'll figure it out. And to your point of like,
Don't
hey,
eat your own dog food.
Eat your own dog food. That one usually takes a little bit of explanation. It means something different
By
to
the way,
our generation versus.
Wait, do you have a favoritism?
I'm a marketer, so it's yes before no.
Yeah.
And I that's funny. Over the years, I had themes in my career. Like when COVID hit, it was like, we'll figure it out. Because like, no, you couldn't blow off the Black Plague, playbook from 1919 and go, all right, well, they did this. This is how they did. And everything is like, we'll figure it out. But back to your point of like, all right, the client. At the end of the day, the client. It's really easy with a large organization like that. Of like, well, I'm retail, so I'm protecting my fiefdom. I'm wholesale. I'm personal loans. I'm a partnership channel where everyone just protects their own P&Ls, if you will. But at the end of the day, there's an ism at Rocket, which is every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses. To that point, so if you put the client at the center, or what we're doing here, are we serving the client? And so if the client wants to come in via a partnership channel with Charles Schwab, State Farm, the wholesale with Barb's Mortgages in Royal Oak, Michigan, or click, push button,
Push
get,
button, get mortgage.
and, let's do it. And so that was, and then along the way too, is like always keeping the center of the client at the focus of the conversation, but also making sure that the experience was also the same. That was
Right,
important
right,
because that was a big part and still is a big part of Rocket's ethos and culture, is making sure that the client is taken care of.
right. Well, the isms really became so important in the B2B channel, because, as you know, I was at the competitor who at the time really was not a player, and there was this fabricated myth about Quicken Loans Mortgage Services, that they were this evil entity, the big red evil machine,
Hmm.
who really didn't have the best interest of the broker community. And the reality was, Dan Gilbert is just the biggest broker in America. And when, this show Inside Out is, I always use Rocket as my best example of what inside out transformation is, because of the isms. It allowed us to reveal to the broker community what Rocket was all about. And that to me was such an important part of the work that we did together, because it wasn't just advertising to say, hey, buy a mortgage here, and we've got great rates and we've got great products. But what we did is we said, we have your best interests at heart, broker community and consumers, and we're going to prove it to you. And that to me was the most meaningful part of the work we did, because Dan was the ultimate and is the ultimate champion of the little guy, Main Street. And it wasn't until you walked me through the halls of Rocket and showed me the isms in action, and how the retail at the base of the buildings that Rocket and Dan owns are all small businesses,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
There's no chains there. They're all small businesses, and we needed to show that to this broker world.
yeah. And to that point, every company, you and I have worked at several places. Every company in America, I don't care how big, how small, have foundational values, and they call them different things. I mean, I worked at a large automotive company that the CEO and chairman at the time had leadership principles, 13 of them. And I'll never forget when he stood in front of whatever, it was a camera, and he revealed the leadership principles. And they were like, I mean, it was like impactful listening to him.
Sure.
That was the last time I ever heard them.
Right.
They sat on an intranet site, and, once in a while you'd hear them referred to only by him, but never once did I hear them in a team meeting or in a conversation. The difference, and what I experienced at Rocket, and you did as well, was, I bet you, like, listen, I just worked at BetMGM, so we'll use a betting analogy. I bet you if I were to set over under on the number of isms you would hear in the course of a normal 8-hour day, oh, shit, I'm going to say 15.
Right.
There was probably,
They were
I bet you I could go 15 over under times a day. You would hear yes before no. We'll figure it out. It's not about the who, it's the what. Every time, right?
right.
We'll eat your own dog food. A penny saved is only a penny.
The inches
I
were
bet you it's
everywhere.
15 because it was in it. A lot of times, principles and values, they're rolled out at the top, and that's some more too often. That's where they stop.
Right.
And at Rocket, everywhere from the top to, well, I won't say the bottom, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you walk in and interns within 60 days are
Right.
reiterating the isms back to you. That's when you know you have a great culture, is when you have interns or somebody that just starts
Right.
an organization. And then also generationally,
Yeah.
generationally, we're now the Gen X. Or are you a millennial? Oh,
I
sure you
like to
are.
say I'm a vanguard of the
You're a
millennials.
vanguard of the millennial. Okay, you're a Gen Xer. I know you are. You know what I'm saying? But now, I remember when we were Gen X, we probably rolled our eyes at values and principles.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I love it now, and the Gen Zs and the alphas behind them, like, they're like reiterating the values back to you. That's when you know
Right.
you have a strong culture, and culture values drive the culture.
100%. So
Yeah.
I remember and just really being immersed in your business. And I mean, literally, you opened up the doors for me and my team and let us walk the halls and have access to the tech team and the finance team and the revenue team and the lead gen team. And you basically said to me, you have carte blanche to figure out what do we need to do to really build this business and create a really meaningful and trusting relationship that's going to help us overcome this myth in the space, but grow the business. And we grew the business, by the way. It was 45 billion to 125 billion in 9 months.
Right.
Right? Like, holy shit. And what I thought was the coolest part of what we did was, let's take these isms to the brokers. And it wasn't just words on the page. It was real proof. We're going to give you our resources. We're going to give you leads. Remember when we're going to give the brokers 10,000 leads.
Yep.
So we came out and we said, let's rock it. Like, let's literally rock the industry with you brokers, and give them core values, give them your capital markets intelligence, give them compliance, give them marketing. I mean, you extended to them more than an olive branch.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about a broker is a small business person in a community, and they may, she or they may not have the resources, and so partnering up with a Rocket or other, I mean, that's what they're seeking is, yes, of course, there's a product that I want to be able to offer to my client, but above and beyond that, how can you help me, like, either grow my business, train my team members, or instill, best practices,
100
or in some places a culture? Like, how can I? It's amazing when you talk to folks outside the halls of Rocket. And I've had this with friends. Like, I've had friends of mine. I invite them to Isms Day, or they got, just via osmosis, and they're like, I'm now applying these into my business. I had a friend of mine, he's a small business, does personal loans, and he incorporated Isms into his business because he's like, I get it.
Right.
Like, it's not, yeah.
I think the big myth in just the way people approach business and culture is that, like, B2B things are B2B and B2C things are B2C. And you kind of blurred the lines of that. In fact, I use isms in my personal life.
Sure. So do I.
Right. I use isms here because I really believe all of those isms. In fact, you published a book on it. Every year you publish.
Every year Dan writes a book. Yeah.
Which was amazing. But we took the brokers to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
Like, that was a first.
Yeah, that was in 2020. And in 2019, when I joined in, that was 2020. Yeah, it was 2020.
Yeah.
And we were developing Super Bowl ideas there. What I was very proud of at Rocket, we're primarily in-house, and obviously worked with agencies like Ludwig. And during Super Bowl, we would also work with creative agencies. We would start with probably 15 agencies, 150 ideas. And we developed this idea, was like, pretty sure, with Tracy Morgan. And during the creative process, as we're developing the Super Bowl spot, all of a sudden the conversation was, what if we were to do a broker version, if you will, and support the wholesale broker business? And I was like, holy shit. Okay, first of all, that's going to be $8 million in media. That's going to add a couple more days of production. And how are we going to do this? And we were in like almost pre-production mode of it. And then we rewrote, like, we took the script, we not rewrote it, but we created a secondary version, if you will. And this was during COVID. I mean, the story could take up the whole podcast, but it was an 8-day shoot. It got shut down after day 3 because COVID ripped through the set. I remember coming home, I was like, we're screwed, because, and we went back 2 weeks later, and we ended up finishing the shoot, and we had a week and a half to finish the edit. Right. We didn't ship the spots until Saturday morning of Super Bowl.
I remember.
And I always say I've been blessed enough. I've done 7 Super Bowl commercials. And I always tell my wife when I wake up on Sunday morning, I'm like, I have a 50-50 shot of keeping my job. Because if America says this, Daddy's LinkedIn's getting updated and it's going to say open to work. And there we were.
The pressures of a CFO.
Yeah, it's welcome.
Yeah.
And I woke up Monday morning at 7 a.m. in which Rocket was number 1, number 2 in USA Today ad meter. It was the first brand ever to go number 1, number 2. And then the following year we did number 1 again, back-to-back number 1s. And outside, I think it's Doritos and Pepsi, or Bud and Pepsi, or something like that. Not bad for a little mortgage company in Detroit.
That was the turning point of us tripling that business unit of the broker community. And not only
because
did
we put our money where the mouth was,
100%. So we came out and we basically said, let's rock it. We're going to give you leads. We're going to give you tools. We're going to connect you with realtors. But when we put them on the Super Bowl, what else did we do? We put them in the Rocket app.
Yep.
And we said, we're not competing with you brokers. In fact, we're going to get you at the fingertips of every home buyer in America. And by the way, that was built at the same time of this shoot. Within 30 days, the team built out that directory.
I've blacked out on some of that, to be honest.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, we put the
until
brokers,
we start talking about it, you're like, oh my gosh,
we put the broker community on the Super Bowl for the very first time ever. Like, that's a huge
120 million people.
Can we even afford this house?
I'm pretty sure we can.
Pretty sure. With Rocket Mortgage, you can be certain. Not pretty sure.
What's the difference?
Let me show you. I'm pretty sure these aren't poisonous. I'm pretty sure these are parachutes.
Mine has a sandwich.
That's mine. I'm pretty sure you do not run. I'm pretty sure you could take Batista down.
You're on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is trending.
I'm pretty sure these Hornets aren't the murdering type. I'm pretty sure we can make it.
Certain is better.
Let's go with certain.
Good choice.
When you're buying a home, pretty sure isn't sure enough. When you need to be certain about how much home you can afford, Rocket can.
Hi, neighbor.
I'll hold the dog.
Not again.
So, okay, let's talk about the Super Bowl. You have defined the gold standard in the Super Bowl, and it's not just brilliant creative, a brilliant spot. I think what you've done, and I want you to talk about it, is you think through how to activate that investment pre, during, post, inside the company, outside the company. I've never seen anything like it, Casey.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So I cut my teeth on Super Bowls when I worked at Chrysler and Fiat. And I'll give testament to Olivier Francois, who's been global CMO over there. Jesus, he did the 8 Mile, Born a Fire spot, the Groundhog Day, Clint Eastwood, blah blah blah. So I was in the passenger seat with him on a few Super Bowl spots at Fiat, and then when I got to Rocket, I don't forget, I got there in April, and in May, the CEO Jay stood up in front of the whole company and told the company, he goes, "We're going to be in the Super Bowl this year." And guess what? That was the first time I had heard that.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, "Oh shit, I better get going." And then and I was like, "Well, here's my process," and it was bring in multiple agencies and let's go
do a creative jump
and
ball.
let's do a creative jump ball. And that first year, we did a spot with Keegan-Michael Key, and that was. And then Super Bowl is no longer about those 30 or 60 seconds, right? I mean, a Super Bowl investment's upwards of $20 million. By the time you look at the talent, the production, the media, and all the, we'll call it the desserts and the appetizers that go along with it, it's $20 million investment over 60 seconds. So we had a very simple criteria as we looked at the creative. Is it simple? Is it culturally relevant?
Right.
Is it epic? And is it campaignable? I mean, you and I remember the day of Master Lock. Like, Master Lock's entire marketing plan was the Super Bowl, and they were done for the year.
Right.
And there's a lot of brands that you see, like, you can tell they're one and done.
Show up,
run the spot, and then the marketing department goes to Cannes for the year or whatever.
Right.
Whatever it might be. Like, we knew at Rocket, and, we're a 24/7, 365 brand, like, whatever we do for the Super Bowl has to be campaignable as well. So that was the mindset. But also for Super Bowl, you got to win. The Super Bowl just isn't in that moment. In order to quote unquote win Super Bowl, what are you doing before the game? Obviously that moment inside the game and where your spot runs is important, and then afterwards. And I gotta be honest with you, we didn't really have a good formula or strategy. Like, we would kind of F around and shoot some really interesting teasers. Right. I was never a fan of revealing the spot before the game. We never revealed the spot before the game. We would debate it, and I would hold my ground. I'm like, don't do it. Like, America wants to be entertained.
Yeah.
Like, let's surprise people. Let's tease them. And, the stuff we did with Tracy, like, We literally were just riffing teasers. He sat in a bathtub eating a pastrami sandwich. Had nothing to do with the spot, but yet it was like, you know, and then he's like, oh, this pastrami, I can do it, Tracy. I should not do it. But, you know, and Jason Momoa, we did the same thing. We had Jason Momoa, like, brushing his hair in a mirror and saying Jason Momoa
hair. You got
I do.
Jason
I got
Momoa
the
hair
Momoa,
going on,
yeah,
Casey.
not the face thing. And we did the same thing with Barbie. Like we had Anna Kendrick talking to Barbie, and it was like, what I wanted America to talk about was like, what is Rocket up to? That was the strategy.
But you know what's amazing? I mean, think about it. It's the biggest, most emotional purchase of your life.
Yep.
And the entire industry is rates and FICO scores.
Exactly right.
And you made mortgages cool. You brought emotion, energy, entertainment to it. I mean, that is.
I'm a firm believer. Like let's be honest, Barb. Like here we are on a very hazy day with Canadian fires rolling through, smoke-filled Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to wake up any morning, and you're not going to say to Bill, and I'm not going to say to my wife, "Oh my God, today's the day." We're going to go buy a hot water heater, get a set of tires, buy a mattress, or get a mortgage or insurance.
Right.
Insurance has been doing this
or
for a
roof.
long time.
I have to buy a roof.
Yeah, right. I mean, roofs will never be fun. But, you know what I'm saying? And let's be honest, the insurance company has been doing it for a long time.
Right.
If I were to ask a Gen Z right now, tell me an insurance company, I guarantee an insurance, they'd probably say Geico and State Farm. And they have no business knowing who Geico and State Farm.
They might say
Lemonade.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So my thought process on Rocket was there's no reason why really good work can't educate, engage, and entertain. You know, listen, there's different philosophies, right, along the way. I'm more of a fan of like entertainment. Yes, there are moments to, tap into the emotional and listen, buying a home. I mean, still, it's like 80-90% of Americans associate the American dream of being a homeowner. Make no mistake. I mean, that's still, and hopefully that continues for the next.
Yeah, it's the highest level
generation.
of freedom.
Yeah, highest level of freedom. And, it's like, hey, mom, dad, or whatever.
I think the work we did, we said it's the highest, especially with millennials, the highest level of freedom. It was higher than saving our country, which was like, what? But it was low on angst, right? Like I worry about home ownership. I worry, what if I lose my job? So we really focused on like, how do you dial up the joy of home ownership and dial down the angst, which brought in all the other rocket companies and how they could deliver on that. Yeah. I mean, it's like, there's another crazy stat. It's like 80% of people cry during the home buying process. Yeah. Yeah. Which, I'm thinking about, I've bought 5 homes. I don't know if I've cried. I don't think I've cried.
I've probably thrown a couple of things. I've dropped some F-bombs. I mean, it's caused some fights for sure. Yeah. I cried when I had to order a roof. That's really those
painful.
are the worst. That's the worst. Well, good thing we're not in the roofing business. Yeah.
But the other thing about the Super Bowl is you brought it inside the company. Everything at Rocket was inside out.
Right.
It was about you guys were very generous in how you had soda machines and
we wrapped
the
elevators.
And the elevators were wrapped. And, there was an interaction. So the team got the benefit of the investment. The brokers got the benefit of everybody.
It can't be just the CMO does the Super Bowl. It needs to be whatever at the time, 15, 20,000 team members, your community. I mean, I wanted everyone to feel like they had a part of the Super Bowl. And it wasn't just, and some companies, CMOs, I'll be honest, I've been at places where I didn't even see the Super Bowl spot on another brand. Like when I was in my automotive life, I didn't see the Ram spot until it aired. Everyone just walked around with it like this. Right. I would walk around and I would appropriately show it. I would show it to everybody.
You and another CMO and I had coffee at Commonwealth.
Oh yeah,
right before that spot launched, and you were like, "Yeah, my spot's launching, and it's featuring this person."
Yeah, I did
that.
I remember
CMO was like, "I can't talk about it."
Yeah,
but you were like, "Why? We need to promote this."
I remember that.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
that was great.
That was risky. But sorry.
All right. So I know something about you. I know you love flavored water.
I do.
And what kind of flavored water do you do?
Okay. Is this like, are you setting me up
That's
for
a little
something?
commercial break
Okay.
we're gonna have.
I'm a big fan of, even though I'm drinking, not water right now. I do love water, and I use Mio drops, and
Oh,
I love sweet tea, and I
oh,
drop in lemonade as well. So I almost have like an Arnold Palmer.
oh, so
Yeah.
okay.
All right. What's
Well, I
flavored
want to
water?
share with you. This is dry water.
Dry water. Okay.
Dry water is actually, I met dry water at Ernst & Young because I'm an Entrepreneur of the Year winner. I'm
I
going to
remember
be
that.
judge. I was a judge locally. I'm actually judging nationally this year. They were a winner last year in their region, and it's like a healthy version because a lot of people, are very dehydrated. Like it's great
I know.
for, I mean, they think they have ailments, but it's really they're just dehydrated.
I usually
So
carry a Yeti in my hand all day full of
yeah.
water.
So,
important.
it's like any other of them. They've got these cute little packets. It
Yeah.
comes in multiple flavors, got electrolytes and vitamins.
I love raspberry lemonade.
There's raspberry, lemon, bananas, and coconut in this one with
Yep.
real fruit. It's got potassium, calcium, chloride, magnesium, sodium, and zinc. It's got vitamins and zero sugar.
Zero sugar, made with 4 real fruits.
Zero sugar. So dry water, go to drywater.com. Okay. It's a little like a Vitamita
Thank you.
Vitamin
Can I have it?
International. I'm giving it to you.
All right,
Yeah,
perfect.
it's a
Thank
present.
you.
You take it home and tell me what you think.
Yeah, well.
All right. You were just in Cannes.
Yeah.
Was it fun?
Yeah, that was my first time in Cannes. I don't know why it took 30 years to get there. But I finally went, and I just got back a couple weeks ago, and people have asked me, like, what was it like? It's like anything else. When you go for the first time, you have a perception versus a reality. Like, the perception kind of matched. Like, first of all, it's beautiful. It was hot as hell. Like, it was 100
So
degrees.
hot.
100 degrees. I bought a lot of linen. I'm not a big linen guy. I'm wearing one today. Actually, I took this with me.
You're kind of looking pretty French these days. I don't know.
French. I don't know about that. But it was fantastic in that, there's not many times. Here we are in Detroit, and there's not many times, like, people come to Detroit, but a lot of times when we have to go see people, we're going to New York, LA, Chicago. There, it's like everyone's in one tight geographic area.
Very tight.
I thought it was going to be more spread out, but I was very pleasantly surprised and pleased that, like, listen, you were hoofing. I was doing 20, 30,000 steps a day,
Right.
in my sneakers. And, companies, and it's evolved a lot over the years. I think, I heard 20 years ago, you go down to the beach and it's all agencies. And then it was probably media companies. And now when you go down to, was it the Corset?
Le Croisset.
Corset. It's, you got media companies. You have a lot of
croissant.
It's you have media companies. You have agencies. You have ad tech. And then you got the portals, right? You got the Googles and the TikToks and what have you. And then there you have the yacht. So I loved it. Saw a ton of people.
It's an amazing network.
This thing can go from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. Not a problem. I was down on the beach by 8 a.m. and I was attending talks. Like, I'd go to Sport
I don't
Beach.
think I ever slept when I was at camp.
Yeah, I didn't sleep very good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't staying up late.
Yeah. But you sleep on the way back because you're just got.
I slept door to door on the way there and door to door on the way back.
Right.
And but I was down on the beach by 8 a.m., attending talks, brand innovators, Sport Beach, Google, TikTok. And then generally I would do a lunch with a partner or an agency. And then I would go through, I'd kind of take a little siesta in the afternoon, and I would get back at it at night. I was usually piper down by 1 a.m. I didn't go 4 or 5 a.m. Back in the day, I would have. But I thought it was fantastic. But it's a lot. In which, I told you off
There's a lot of rosé.
There's a lot of rosé. There's no shortage of it.
So what was the main word, phrase, conversation?
What do you think it was?
AI
and authenticity.
Yeah.
I hosted, I did MC one afternoon, and I moderated a couple panels, and I was like, Jesus Christ, here I am. Here's another panel on AI, and
right.
But what's really interesting,
such an exciting.
But what's really interesting about the conversation about AI, is how the evolution of it. 2-3 years ago, it was like, what is it? How might it affect us?
Right.
And now, fast forward to the conversations here, it's like, how is AI? Maybe a year or two ago, it was like, all right, AI, ethical use. implementation, and now it's like AI, and more importantly, where aren't you going to use AI? In the world of marketing advertising, as it comes to, as we think about the level of creativity and workflows and efficiencies, but it's also like, hey, is AI going to affect experiential and the hand-to-hand world we live in with marketing advertising? Probably not. But like, what will AI not solve?
Right. What's cool about it is you've got AI and tech in one corner, like one quadrant where it's allowing you to produce things faster,
Yep.
more versions, better, more insights to make it more meaningful, more precise. On the other end, you have the human aspect where creativity can be even bigger
Yep.
because you have space for it, where the interaction can be more meaningful. I think it's such an exciting time and it's such a great tool.
I mean, it's at BetMGM, I shared the story on a Google stage. We were doing this. It was a sweepstakes up in Canada, and we were only going to put like maybe $1 million of media against it. And we saw this creative idea, and the creative idea was very, very well. It was a very good creative idea, but I could tell, man, if we flip the cameras on this thing, we're going to be 600-700 into this thing.
Right.
And so the challenge to the team was, can you do it all in AI? I don't know. Go figure it out. I'll buy this idea if you can figure it out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, let's be like, okay,
right. Like you have
if
to
not,
understand.
it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and when is now.
Right.
And it was like, in the team, I could tell the team was nervous. I'll show you the spot off camera. Like, it was very well done for what it was.
Yeah.
Now, I also screwed myself because I didn't tell anyone we were doing it all in AI, because I wanted to like test the waters with our board or our executive leadership team. So I'm like, hey, blah, blah, here's the thing we're doing in Canada. Here's the spot. And they're like, all right, that's good. And I'm like, guess what? That man, that woman, that jet scene, that shot, all AI. They're like, really? And then I really fucked myself because I go, and guess how much we spent on it?
What'd you say?
Well, I rarely tell the truth in those situations, but I did because I was super proud. We spent like 30 grand on it.
Oh my God.
And then
And you would have spent.
Oh, we would have. It was like, I'll show you the spot, and you'd be like, by far, this one scene, just the CGI and VFX, like it was a $250,000 scene. I'm like, if we would turn the lights on this spot, it would have been $750, not a problem.
But what's cool about it is now more content.
I know that's cool, but
but your budget.
But when I bring in that $1 million idea, it's like, well, just do an AI for 50.
Yeah.
Like
it's not for everything, but it works for certain.
But
things,
the other thing which I used that for was, this was not push button get commercial. It took copy, art design, business affairs, This was not just prompt, get. And so I also used it as a teaching tool. Like, these humans, these brains are still necessary to receive that output.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing that as a marketer, we're going to have to, we have to, prove it to ourselves, but then we're going to have to educate those around us.
Yeah.
Because it's like
the old days when there was they would literally, I mean, when I first started, they would draw storyboards. We'd hire an illustrator. And then I remember one day this art director came in and brought a Mac. I was like, what is that? And he showed me, we had a tissue session meeting. And I said, that's not a tissue. A tissue is like a drawing.
Yeah.
This looks like a finished ad. He's like, this is a tissue now. But it didn't take away his creativity. It's just a tool for him to express what he's got.
So as marketers, we have to continue
to educate around that, and that the human creativity, I think, will never go away.
Even when it comes to like jobs. I mean, of course, AI replacing jobs. Well, you know what? When computers came around, people were probably saying, think of how many industries and companies and jobs were created because of computers.
Right.
Computers didn't kill the workforce. Computers helped accelerate it, drive efficiencies.
It allows you
better.
I think it actually is going to drive more creativity because you now know there's going to be a way to express it, that your crazy ideas actually can be produced.
Yep.
All right. couple more things.
Shoot.
One is, let's talk about people. Everybody loves Casey.
Okay.
Everybody loves you. Everybody
right.
who's ever worked with you loves you. You have a way about you.
All right.
You're a great leader.
Okay.
Why?
Thank you.
Why? What do you do that's different?
Thank you. I don't take compliments very well, so
Well,
I do appreciate it.
It's true.
Listen, my leadership journey started young. I was 27 years old working at BBDO, and I became a leader. And I never forget, I was leading 12 people, 10 of which had been in business longer than I had been alive. And I was given no leadership training. I was given no book. And that was tough. I mean, so I've been a leader now for, Jesus Christ, 26 years. No, 27 years. I've doubled up. I know leadership for me, it's an evolving process. I'm learning how to lead differently now. I mean, as I think about back to Gen X, when we were Gen X, the greatest generation and the boomers were our leaders, and they thought they were going to be the death of us.
Yeah.
And here we are. And guess what? They had to learn how, maybe they
Right.
did. Most of them did not. Let's be honest. Most of them did not change their leadership styles to accommodate us.
No.
But evolution.
We have war wounds.
We're evolving. Yeah, I have a lot of ashtray dents on the head.
Yeah. Wait,
but-
Casey, let me show you the wound I got.
This is where a creative director put a cigar out of my hand one
this is
time.
when a deck was thrown
Yeah.
across the room.
But now, like my leadership journey continues. It evolves, and a lot of it is like adapting to the future generations, right? And you have to lead differently now. So I'm willing to accept that. Feedback is a gift. That's something, was an unofficialism at Rocket, and sometimes feedback hurts, but feedback is intended to help.
Right.
And listen, one of my favorite humans in life is Tom Izzo. And we've all been around people that we've admired, right? Whether they know it or not. But Tom Izzo tells a story of when they won the national championship, he gave a national championship ring to the janitor at Breslin Center. Because he goes, that guy has just as important a role for this team than Mateen Cleaves. Because he goes, that guy is there at 6 a.m. every morning, opens the door, and he like blah, 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 and he gets the court ready, what have you. He has as important, and so that I'm like that, those types of things, and working for someone like a Dan Gilbert, and you've had those leaders, and I had leaders like that in the automotive life as well. Like, you learn from them of how to lead, but most importantly, how to treat people.
Right.
People don't remember what you do, but they always remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
I always say, when we have interns, you better treat those fucking interns better than your grandmother.
Right.
Because you will need something from that kid one day in your career. I'm going through it right now.
Yeah.
And remember when we were 20 some odd years old and starting in this business, and we remembered how we were treated, and all of a sudden,
100%.
Barb is now the EVP, and that person that maybe treated you.
Well, and our business is a small industry.
I remember, and I don't do that because I need a favor down the road.
No, but it's just,
I remember.
Yeah, and I mean, we're in a people business. That's what it's all about.
Exactly
and
right.
you never know where somebody's going to end up, and you want to tap into your network, and that's what makes our industry so great, is our network.
What I always tell young people.
Mm-hmm.
Never burn it. I mean, listen, we've burned bridges unwillingly and unknowingly and, regrettably. But when you burn a bridge, you will have to cross that bridge at some point in your life, whether you know it or not.
Right.
You get phone calls every single day.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know? Right? When I go hire somebody, I don't call references.
Yeah.
If I'm hiring Barb, I don't give a shit who your references are. I'm going to call her common person. And I'm going to call that common person. And I'm like, tell me about Barb. In the first 3 words that come out of that person's mouth,
it's gonna.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Are you talking about a role? That's awesome. Cool. Why? What do you want to know? Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was a bridge that you crossed that you had no idea you were crossing it that day.
Yeah. I had a client once, or I actually had a boss once, and the agency will remain nameless. And he was not a nice guy. And I would leave crying every day. I mean, it was just like, and I'm not a crier at all.
No.
Well, fast forward, I become the head of marketing for McDonald's Corporation. I'm in my late 20s. I've got this big job. I walk into our agency and to meet them for the very first time,
Who's there?
he's there. He's the GM of
And
this
who was your best
agency.
friend?
And you know what?
Who pretended
He
you were his
walked up and
best
he
friend?
goes, "Oh, hey,
Yeah.
how are you?" And
Yeah.
you know what I did? I was super nice to him
Of course you were.
because I wanted to
That's-
show him, you know what? You were not nice,
Yep.
and I'm going to let you learn from my niceness, and we're good.
Yep. But he pretended like you
But
were
he-
his best friend.
Yeah.
And you know what? The chances are.
No, he was mortified.
Well, he's
Like, he
okay. Well,
was
good.
mortified.
Well, you know, that's good.
Like I
Because most times
fucked up.
people are that, you know, they have such
Yeah.
a low I shouldn't say people. Sometimes people like that have such a low level of self-awareness that they don't remember.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
But you and I can both appreciate, like, we came from big agency backgrounds, and it took us going to mortgage to see what great culture was like.
exactly right. Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
Yep.
So I brought a lot of that into what we do here. But all right, last question for
Sure.
you. What's next for Casey? You were at Rocket. You made a huge impact at BetMGM with all that work.
Yeah, so I'm
Where-
excited.
yeah.
You know, so listen, I'm 34 years in. I've only been 3 places in my career: Chrysler, Rocket, and just wrapped up a CMO tenure at BetMGM, and it's an exciting time. Like doing some consulting, talking to a number of brands. Listen, I want to teach when I'm done. I love you
At
know,
MSU?
of course, at Michigan
Yeah,
State.
all
So,
right.
but I got another swing in me. Like I'm gonna go work on another brand, and you know, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So, stay tuned.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, Casey, thank you so much
Thanks.
for coming on the podcast. There is no greater person, dear friend, I have respect for, I have fun with. It's always fun with you. You're such an amazing marketer, and you've done so many cool things. You made mortgages cool, and I loved working with you so much. This is the end of this episode of the Inside Out podcast. Thank you so much.